Hi, my friends and family. This is Trey. Today, after finally getting another sun bath, I composed a topic that relates to the idea of soul at one mint and loneliness. Loneliness is perceptual mythology. I've got many rivers to cross, but sometimes it seems that I can't find my way over. When I was wandering in lost, 'cause I thought I had to survive on my fake ass pride. And that's when I felt loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. My woman laughed and she didn't say why. I guess I'll just have to cry. 'Cause I've got many rivers to cross, and I merely survive because of my faith in Christ. And this loneliness won't leave me alone till I share enough to realize it's completely wrong. 'Cause we're all one all the time until it's always just a timeless now. Having fun, my works and play are one. Many shadowlands to cross till I can talk to all the boss. Okay, loneliness. Loneliness is perceptual mythology. And how to see through that lie? Well, did you ever have the feeling like you're more lonely in a crowd? Well, I have that all every day because when I'm here in the beautiful nature, I never feel alone. Sometimes at night, I talk to my owl friends, and even my coyote friends once in a while, and my beautiful finch geese at all hours, and even this hornet. I might have to talk to them. So I'm always here, in feeling more alone in a room of strangers than in a crowded forest with no other humans or alone at the ocean. What do you think? How do you feel? Give me a comment. Do you feel more alone around people who don't have any spiritual skills or awareness, such as so called zombies? Or do you feel more alone by yourself? Loneliness. One L truth, yes. If you are gifted, you must gift to exist, or you are just another liar. So be one with all the good goddess you can see, at least electronically, like me. Let lies lie down on the ground. Don't let them fly. Instead of staying living dead, let us remember oneness is free already. I flawed on the side of rebellion, being perhaps if I wanted a child and a wife. Being an ascetic might have been helpful in India, although essential in the beginning of an awakening anywhere. Hermeticism, being a hermit or isolation, can lead to social cowardice or fear. And we must eventually be together in community. But loneliness is the false inverted power of the hijacked Saturn International Black Cube tech planetary loneliness installation through wage slavery, boxed reality, adherence, forced to the little me, 3D body, if not physical community. If you're not in a physical community, this is how Santa Cruz a place, helped me, a county, helped me to realize how the little self is fake because the so-called cost of living here, for example. Don Miguel Ruiz says, that the human body needs sex. So um, unless were able to get that need, ideally through someone you love and respect, the denial of your needs, your basic bodily needs. Even if I go downtown Santa Cruz because of the so-called curse, if I'm in a state of anxiety, often I'll be denied the ability to urinate or take a shit because the law of the universe, like attract like, and the powerful vortex of Santa Cruz means that every bathroom is going to deny me. So, in the Babylon, will force you to be a slave for your needs. Again, as I've said before, the conquistadores and the mafia, they killed and plundered and stole and took it all, and then charge you a lot more than it would have cost before that. If at all. Well, it was free. And having the chief of police, Andy Mills, was an interesting experiment because he temporarily said that it's wrong to make people have to only allow people to sleep if they were going to be a slave for their box. And since he left, they got rid of that problem. So you have to learn to serve Christ only for freedom and gnosis. If you want to participate in the awakening into the second coming of Christ. If you do any, whether it's through marital or through abuse of your coworker, your boss, your siblings, your parents, if any of them are heavily narcissist or narcissistically possessed, have the NPEs in their personality, their ego structure, you're gonna suffer, and it's gonna make you, it might mess up your ascension path. So you really have to learn how to try to do your best to serve the Christ only for freedom in all beings. And realize that it's not a joke. That systematic planetary enslavement of your basic needs, forcing you to feel that you must suffer hard to exist in the box. Um, or on the other example, for the other extreme, like for someone susceptible to it, most lazy dependents, people that even just getting food stamps or welfare SSI, or the people who deal any kind of drugs to those people, are also cut off from freedom, and they often develop narcissistic personality disorders and narcissistic predator entities because they don't have freedom, or when the individual doesn't have freedom from their own sovereignty, financially, emotionally, or in any way, and I'm still going through healing these issues, and it's a deep thing, but it also can, from the deep, most shallow to the most, again, the New Age movement is going to hijack take advantage of your self sabotage, your willingness to suffer and sacrifice yourself for the collective, and just take fully advantage of this, in the Marxist way, But loneliness is perceptual mythology because you're never alone. Your spirit guides, the sacred Christ, the Mother Earth. You're always with at least these elemental and original divine creator beings are always with you, And but also, unfortunately, again, a lot of parasitical entities in the fourth dimension and ghosts and obnoxious rules and so forth to spur you. Using Satan's pitchfork to help you grow spiritually, maybe you can live around here and make the most of it. But order followers that are orthodox are inherently illegitimate. According to Mark Passio, he was saying they follow the inherently illegitimate authority. Okay, these when you realize how much the dark side infiltrated and hijacked, then you realize that this is an accurate statement. Jordan Peterson keeps saying to people when they bring up the WEF, clean your room, because and I've been in this case too, that people will want to talk trash about the world politics situation, and they haven't, or taking care of their narcissistic abusive relationship, for example. So I have to add to this, we have to because I suffer. I'm extremely run the gamut on this, from being really messy to really a clean, extreme neat freak. So clean your room, as Jordan Peterson says, and also clean the rooms inside your mind. It's a very essential key in your awakening. Never forget that when you give the authority to the outside, the exoteric, you're probably going to lose, unless it's the Almighty Christ. You have to remember loneliness is fake, and think about how it's sexuality and sex, love, and kisses have been, all of these many facets of our, if not all of our lives, have been attempted to be monetized for control and slavery, especially your sexual needs. So clean the rooms in your mind. Also, loneliness comes when all our days are spent in self-centeredness. This is a quote from J. Krishnamurti, which was actually what spurred the idea for this talk. So bless his heart, wherever he might be, if he ascended, wherever that is. So remember, the obedient consciousness is the little me reality, produces loneliness. It's one of the things it was designed to do, obviously. So the status quo, the cult of the box, Mecca, the Saturn black magic cube, tech hex, I call it, war, the fear, the idea that all women are afraid, something I have to let go of, that I couldn't find a woman who's not on meth that wouldn't be too afraid to come spend the night with me here, for example. This comes from past genocides. Women were forced to breed with these reptilians for their whole lifetime until they were old and in chains, and it's really a sick history we've had with these beings. So that's why, we all have, I think a lot of us subconsciously have mustered more courage to fight this battle over freedom, because we must win. We know we must win, because we have the subconscious massacre memories of all these genocides before, and even in our lifetimes now. So loneliness is the fake cult, the fake mainstream cult, okay? You were never alone. You were always at one. Every 3-year-old with respectful parents just knows that inherently, intuitively. Dr. Drew on YouTube today had Dr. John Littell, and he was talking about how he was surprised how easily science was co-opted with evil. And I call it what I call the scientism death cult. Well, my brother, it was designed for that tyranny and designed for this takeover, Survival mode inducts loneliness in most of our subconscious, our ego, our character, and also it can lead to, as I said before, NPD and NPEs, and desperation unchecked leads to trauma. Trauma bonding to the normal slave deception. This is what we're doing on a grand scale here, unless we're willing to face this and change it. Most people do this shit and they don't even notice it. You trauma bond to this grand, normal slave deception state of survival, the little me box, the lonely box. This often creates the NPD and NPE attachments. Wage slaves and SSI recipients alike are most of the time emotional children, unless, even if, for example, the case of Bob Noxious, they get welfare and live out their dreams, or they're a wage slave and they live out their dreams at night, or they figure out how to be an entrepreneur and live in their van and live out their dream as an entrepreneur in their van. Then they're not emotional children. Then they're living their blueprint. But you got to remember the necessity of spiritual service as a key to taking care of your 3D body to balance the dimensions. If you like this, click the subscribe button, and I'll send you more videos like this. And I hope that you realize loneliness is a pathetic joke when you awaken to the Christ within all, and learn to treat everyone with respect as much as possible, and create a great day, my family.